This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
No.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobukijake.
Hey.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Yes.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Alright. So, we got a lot of stuff here today. Do you want to start? Me start? Who do you want to do?
I got a pretty good ender, but nothing extraordinary, so I'll leave it to you.
I'll start this time.
Okay.
Because a lot of this stuff is random. I got one that's really nice, but it's not going to be my ender, so. So, let's see here. So, we're starting with a twofer, which I got from oldies.com for less than $1. Because you can get a lot of movies for less than $1 from them. Which is why I've ordered from them on occasion, especially when they have a sale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what they've got for under $1. So it's Fart, the movie, and Horn Dog's Beach Party, uncensored. So, I don't know. Yes, that's pretty bad. I mean, Horn Dog's Beach Party is a Dustin Ferguson film, for those of you familiar with his work.
No.
And I don't know about this one. Ray and Migdalia Etheridge do Fart the movie. So let's talk about what they're about. Russell's a young man with two passions, farting and watching television. Good passions to have.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say farting and watching other people fart. I don't know why I thought that.
His girlfriend, Heather. How does he have a girlfriend? His girlfriend, Heather, hates both of those things.
Sounds like she would agree with you.
So why is she going out with him? I can fix him. She worries if they ever allowed farting on television, he'll never leave the house. This is done in 91.
Oh, God.
They should know by far that farting on television was definitely going on in 91.
Oh, man. I mean, just wait a few years and, for Terrence and Phillip, I think it was, he'd be...
And apparently what happens is one day he sits down in front of the TV and apparently it's nothing but one large fart joke on the TV now. So now he's got what he wants and the girlfriend is in her own peril. So, yeah. Then Horn Dogs Beach Party. No possessive there, so I'm going to guess multiple horn dogs are in this. Two best friends, see, two of them, multiple horn dogs, rent a beach house for the weekend, only to discover that it's already occupied by two drop-dead gorgeous babes. Not satisfied with spying on ladies in their double D bras, the wannabe Remos pull out. Remos is close enough. That's a discount. Romeo. Pull out all the stops to impress them by throwing the greatest weekend party ever, the epic Horn Dogs Beach Party. Meanwhile, the nosy neighbor and some jealous jocks have sabotage on their minds. I don't know. I mean, you can see that. I don't know. It's.
I can think of some people in our group who would probably think those are gems.
Well, you know how I am. I like a bad movie, and these seem like legit bad movies. I mean,
you bought that for $1.
less than $1.
Ooh.
Like 75 cents.
Well, I'm going to start with something I did buy for $1, and it won't be quite as exciting as that, I'm sure. But I finally made it out to Dollar Tree, the good one.
Oh.
Although they were pretty picked over. Our friend Dave told us a few weeks back that Dollar Tree got some really cool stuff. But I just wasn't making the effort to get out there. And I think I missed the boat on this particular grouping. But I picked up a few things.
Like Farting Princess.
Not quite. But what I brought today are the 2 items that are not DVDs that I picked up.
Oh.
And I'm going to kick off. There was a small number of music CDs, and I think they had the same one with the previous purchase that I got some music CDs. It's an artist I'm not familiar with at all, but it caught my attention nonetheless. And her name is Raya Yarborough.
Oh.
And it looks like it's a self-titled CD. Yeah, she's kind of cute. And I like the name. I think that's a fun-sounding name. And her guitarist is Japanese, which is kind of fun. Takashi Yakamoto. She is credited here with vocals, acoustic guitar, and piano. Honestly, I know jack shit about what this could be, but looking at the back, I'm going to guess probably jazz, maybe?
Maybe.
But I'll buy that for $1. I'll give it a try. God knows when I'll get to it, but you know.
Excuse me. Just 8. So, I got 2 video game pickups on this. Matter of fact, it's interesting. The way I do this at random is I have a dice that has all the letters of the alphabet and a wild on it. So wild is what I use for video game pickups and for multi-packs like Fart the Movie. And it just so happened I rolled wild 3 times. So I did video game, multi-pack, video game. So this is one I got at GameStop not long ago. And I've just been curious about picking it up. I liked it on the Master System. And that was Alex Kidd in Miracle World. So what they did is they did a graphical overhaul treatment on it. This was the Sega mascot before Sonic. And they even allow you to switch over to the original video game style. So you can see it in the original graphics, or you can play in their nicer upper graphics.
Hey, Blanche.
It was kind of an action-adventure platformer. So I really like this because it's a show-off of the original cover art of the game, which was a Sega Master System game.
Blanche, don't knock our stuff down.
And the great thing about that is I can actually reverse the cover. And boom. I have the original Alex Kidd look. So, take a look at this manual, too, that came with it. Now, there's something you don't see every day.
Right.
This was a used one. I even got a little keychain with it, but the keychain kind of fell. But that's okay. It was, I really wasn't out for it anyway.
Very small print.
Very small print. I can't read it very well, but it's got all the items detailed, some of the enemies. You got little pixels of the enemies. But it's just kind of cool. I mean, you don't see these with a manual in them anymore, even though they have the little hooks for a manual. So it's just kind of cool. I like that. Alex Kidd was fun. This is the original graphics on the back, and you can switch to them if you want. So it's just kind of cool to have. And I look forward to playing it. It was a good competitor. Mario is just while the Sega Master System did very well in Europe, Nintendo beat the crap out of it over here.
You know, you bring up a good point, though. That is a horrible waste of plastic and whatever energy they need to make the more complicated cases if they're not going to friggin' use those clips. You know?
Oh, I agree.
It's weird. Anyway, my next one, if you can believe it, is a book. I actually glanced at their book section, which I almost never do when I'm at Dollar Tree. And I happened to see a piece of a series that I've started that I really enjoyed and I want to get back to reading. And I have, I think, 2, maybe 3 of the books in the series. And I don't have this one. And I was like, shit, why shouldn't I get it if it's only $1.25 in hardcover, no less? And that is the Ellen Bradley book, The Graves of Fine and Private Place, which is part of the Flavia De Luce series. And Flavia De Luce is about a very eccentric 12-year-old girl who solves mysteries. Basically, it's sort of a murder mystery series told through the voice of this very, very eccentric girl. I read the first one in the series, The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, which was a really good book, and I really wanted to get back into it. And I just haven't. This was the first one in the series that caught my attention. It is a book called Thrice the Brinded Cat Hath Mewed. I just love that title, and I do have a copy of that. But there's the listing of the books right there. And they all have great titles. The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag, A Red Herring Without Mustard, which I think I have that one too. I Am Half Sick of Shadows, Speaking from Among the Bones, The Dead and Their Vaulted Arches, As Chimney Sweepers Come to Dust, and then The Graves of Fine and Private Place. I really, 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 really do need to get into reading these. And you say it's not well, I mean, it looks thick, but it's not a long book. And I just want time.
Time, what's that?
But like I said, to get a brand new copy, hardcover for $1.25, that's a pretty good deal. So, glad I found that.
All right. So, I've got 2 anime this time around. It's interesting how those random rolls do, because what I'll do is I'll come up with the letter, and I will just pull the first one I see in that letter. Except for in this case, which is O. Because O has rules too, because I have so many of these to present. O is pretty much for One Piece. And I have a lot of these, so the rule I have for O is that the first one has to always be a One Piece until I run out. Thank goodness if that happens. And the second one is just something different, because I don't want to just present a bunch of One Piece. So this is Adventure of Nebulandia, which is, over here. Dubbed for the first time ever. The Foxy Pirates challenge Luffy's crew in the New World, but when the Navy's most brilliant tactician steps in, they all wind up on the island of Nebulandia, an infamous death trap for devil fruit users. Luffy must team up with his Davy-back nemesis?
Nemesis.
Okay. For a harrowing rescue mission when Zoro, Sanji, and some foxy pirates are held hostage. I don't know whether this is remaking a One Piece story or not. If it is,
Probably.
I don't remember it. But then again, I swear, I know this guy.
Yeah.
So, I've seen a lot of One Piece. I try not to remember a lot of One Piece. But, one of these days I gotta get back into watching the series. Again. One of these days. Maybe.
One of these days.
But I got a lot to watch if I do. I mean, it's a lot of that stuff to go on. So I've seen a lot of it, and I have read more of it. I stopped reading it and I stopped watching. Matter of fact, I stopped watching it when I stopped running the One Piece game because I stopped needing references.
Right.
And I still haven't gotten to the part where most of the crew dies all the time. Which, if characters were dying left and right in the series like it's supposed to in the game, then I would have liked the series a lot more.
Yeah.
I think it would be much cooler, you know.
It's like, devil fruit users can't swim, but according to game rules, they can't walk down the street either.
But that's One Piece. So we'll see if I have another one next week. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So, speaking of anime, we recently did our DMC discussions. So, my next order has a theme, and that was going to DMC.
Go to DMC.
But a different DMC. I have a Disney Movie Club order here. And this, like One Piece, is the franchise that never ends. Because the mouse. And this was just one of the opening salvos, which I liked. A lot of people didn't. But I liked. This is one of the early salvos in what is become apparently a war against humanity. That basically Disney is determined that if you are not a Star Wars fan, they will beat you into submission. So, I finally went ahead and ordered one of their side projects.
I liked it.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I liked it too. There were no survivors.
It was a decent
At this
story.
point, that's not a big spoiler. But anyway, I did enjoy this. I thought it got a worse rep than it needed to. But seriously, Disney, it's like I can't turn around with hearing about a new series or show or movie that they plan to do. And it's too much. It's even worse than the oversaturation with Marvel, and that's saying something. But then again, I was always more of a fan of Marvel than I was Star Wars. So, but I do enjoy this, and I'm glad I finally got it. They do that thing where if you're a DMC member, you get a discount on side movies. I ended up getting this for about $13. So really, honestly, you can debate if I really got a deal on this purchase. But I got some stuff I needed. And it's a nice shiny cover. And it is a DVD Blu-ray combo. And, it's good. It's worth having.
I've got to get a Disney Movie Club order there. I mean, we're already like... But now I'm like, well, I can just wait till Turning Red comes out on Blu-ray.
You think it will?
Oh, it will.
I hope it does. Because they're not planning to put it in theaters.
Well, yeah, that's
Bastards.
because they're prudes. And they're also, sadly, and sadly a lot of people online had the same prudish reaction. How dare you talk about female puberty? Even in veiled, ways. But I'm hoping Turning Red gets a physical. I mean, I haven't seen them not release a Pixar film physically. Even Luca, which didn't go to theaters, got a physical.
That's a good point, and I hadn't thought about it, but maybe it's because I didn't want to think about it. But one of the hallmarks in Marvel, in the X-Men and related comics, is that the arrival of the powers is usually very closely tied to puberty.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what Disney's going to do with that.
Don't think. Don't try to think on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to think too hard.
But that's pretty much that. Now, I realized I was looking at the One Piece while you were talking about Rogue One a little bit. I realized, okay, I've watched 14 volumes. And these are the 20-some episode volumes. And I happen to have 28 volumes. So at this point, I have watched half of what I have of the series. Unfortunately, it's going to be less than half shortly because 29's coming out soon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no.
And let's see, if I'm doing my math correctly, that probably puts you at around a third, less than a quarter of the full series.
Yeah, they're over 1,000 episodes now, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like 300 and some episodes in. So this next one is a limited run piece, which is very rare. I don't do a lot of limited run purchases, and they're basically limited run is they'll take stuff, indie games, stuff like that doesn't normally get a physical copy, and they make one, and then you order it, and then once they print it, and it could be almost as long as a year after, you'll get it. So then this showed up in the mail, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I did order that. And that is Shantae Risky's Revenge. Now this is actually a series, a fairly long-running series so far, it's a platformer about this half genie that can, shake her hips and change into a different animal or creature to utilize to help her through different platforming situations. I've heard it's pretty good. It's one of the later ones in the series, but I've heard they are releasing all of them on PS5. They've already released them all on Switch. So this time they're doing a PS5, and they have kind of dedicated themselves to it because you got a series box, and that had arrived today as well. I'm not taking the cardboard out right now. Not until I get all of it.
Kind of cool looking box.
And of course, each limited run, and I've shown these off before when I got them, comes with its own card. That's 317, a Shantae. Now there are people, a lot of the limited run groups, there's two types of them. One is scalpers. They like to buy up as many as they can so they can sell them for a fortune afterwards. And I'm sure that this combo, once it sells out, is probably going to be in the several hundred range. But there's also a lot of obsession. There's a lot of obsession over this series. A lot of obsession over this series. So
I'm not sure I've heard of it.
I'm looking forward to it. This is not the first game in the series. It started in the Game Boy, I think Game Boy Color. So I am very curious how they're going to do it, a PS5 adaptation of the Game Boy Color version. I'm hoping they put some extras in with that. Sometimes they do that. They put some extra stuff, like alternative costumes in this one. And I do look forward to it. I look forward to finishing this up. So far, I have 3 games on order with them, counting this. And that leaves 2 games that they have yet to put up for order. But once they start putting them up for pre-order, you can bet I'm going to have my pre-order in for the PS5 versions of those games.
Cool.
It's going to be fun.
All right.
That's going to be the thumbnail. So you guys got a sneak peek at this. All right.
Very cool. So, my next one actually is kind of a limited edition. Disney Movie Club does their limited printings of certain items, and I'm not sure that they would be collector's items. I don't think I'm looking at several hundred on this one. But, of course, last night for us, I think for y'all it'll be a couple nights ago, we got our 2022 Oscar telecast, which was full of all sorts of weirdness and strangeness and stuff that didn't go according to plan and stuff that went very much according to plan and whatnot. And we've got a discussion up floating around in the ether to watch at some point.
Which we'll be filming after this.
Yes. I'm not sure when you're planning to put it up. But anyway.
It'll go up up live.
Okay, cool. So you can look forward to that. But one movie that regrettably and somewhat surprisingly failed to net even a single nod, despite being a very solid film, is this one here, which again, I got a special edition print of Eternals. Speaking of those Marvel movies. And this one has, I believe, Oh, no, it is the same under as it is on top. So, not the most colorful of covers, but it's kind of cool looking. It's, like I said, a limited edition cover. This does have a few bonus features. Not an extraordinary number, but a few. This is one of, if not just about the longest feature we've had so far from Marvel Disney. And it, for the most part, follows an entirely new group of characters and a whole new group, corner of the MCU, if you will. A lot of people didn't care that much for it, but a lot of that was because it moved slower, it took its time, it was a freaking Chloe Zhao film. What'd they expect, But I thought it was a really good movie. It should have at least been up for something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was very happy to go ahead and get it. And I'll look forward to revisiting this one at some point before the Versus Awards to,
Yeah, it may be up for. You never know.
Never know.
And we'll be starting discussions on how we're going to be doing nominations this year because we have a larger crowd of people. So I'm hoping to do them a little bit differently. If you are not on the Facebook account for the Versus Awards, you should be, because that's going to be part of the process for voting. Part of the process for nominating is going to be done through that account. So definitely check it out. My last one is an anime, and that is Takunomi from Sentai. Now, this is one that was really cheap on one of their sales.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't very well rated, so that may be part of the reason.
Sometimes the best place to drink with friends is in the comfort of your own home.
True.
So let's see here. When Michiru Amatsuki moves to Tokyo from Okayama, she knows that it will take a while to acclimate to the hustle and bustle of the big city. Fortunately, though, she always has a place to go when things get a little too hectic. That's because Michiru was lucky enough to move into Stella House Haruno, a woman's only shared apartment where the companionship and conversation are always flowing, and the tradition of having a little drink after work has evolved into an ongoing study of alcoholic beverages and all their many varied flavors and fermentations. And that's interesting. It is not that long, 150 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, I think there's supposed to be... Is it 13-minute episodes? It might even be shorter than that.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, not super long. So, a film that probably was not aimed at the same audience. Actually, I have a couple of films here that, in the Oscar race, were both victims of Disney trying to game the system and failing miserably. The one was a short film that they did not submit at all because they were putting all their support behind another one. And we won't talk about the song that was not submitted in favor of another. But Encanto did walk away with the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, as we all kind of expected it would. It did get a very lovely and touching live performance of Dos Oreguitas and an interesting remix of We Don't Talk About Bruno. But it friggin' lost the song to the meh song from the Bond movie. And it friggin' lost the score to Hans Zimmer. I don't know why the Academy has such a hard-on for Hans Zimmer, but whatever. Go figure.
Yep.
And then, of course, this has the lovely short film Far From the Tree, which, again, wasn't even submitted for consideration.
Should have been. Not a single Disney animated short film up this year.
I know, because they put all their support behind Us Again, which somehow I don't know how Us Again didn't get.
I was
going
to say that should have gotten a nod.
But this, of course, is a 4K Blu-ray set, which I still have no way of playing 4K, but I am happy to have these in case I upgrade. I certainly have the Blu-ray capability. And once again, this does have, some bonus features to go with. I really, really did enjoy both of these. Far From the Tree was one of the best shorts I thought of the year. And I really, really, really enjoyed Encanto. Loved the music. Absolutely freaking loved the music. And plus, it was a gorgeous film. Between this one and Raya, Disney outdid themselves in the animation department.
Oh, yeah. It was very pretty.
They really did. So definitely give that one a look. And, again, I probably overpaid slightly to get all three of these when I did. But, again, one that will be watched, or two, if you count the short, that will definitely be watched in preparation for the Versus Awards.
Yeah, I think it has a good shot. I still feel like Flea should have one, but I knew it
still
wasn't
need to
going
see
to win.
that. I need to. I was surprised, genuinely surprised, that it didn't win anything, even though it was up against stiff competition in every category. But more on that on our Oscar discussion.
Indeed. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, click that like button, hit that subscribe, and share with your friends.
Yes.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.